As we make our way up Strada Nova, we stop to have a look at Paolo Scarpi, died 1623 in front of Santa Fosca. Scarpi was a free thinker and friend of Galileo, and whilst we watch an old friend wait for his master to come out of the bookshop, can I just say that the Venetians never did knuckle under properly to the Pope. For instance, they insisted on trying priests accused of secular crimes in secular court. Now don't worry here, he does get joined up with his master in the end. When one priest declared that in the great interdict of 1606 the Holy Spirit had moved him to comply with the Pope's interdict, the Council of Ten's reply was that the Holy Spirit had moved them to hang any priest who did. We've just managed to squeeze in Sant Alvise, and this is the trompe-l'oeil ceiling. I think it's supposed to represent a massive extension of the building upwards. I'm not sure quite how effective it is, especially on film. We see here an early version of a barca or nun's choir with wrought iron grills over the windows to preserve the nuns' anonymity. And we've just made it to the Ghetto before nightfall. Here is one of the gates to the Ghetto, which would be locked at night. Apart from being locked up at night, apparently Venice was one of the best places in Europe for Jews to live. They had to live on this island, and there are two of the inhabitants. The original forge for the arsenal had been here, the Ghetto, but when the Jews arrived, most of them spoke German. They called it Ghetto, and so Ghetto became the name for ghetto. There are several memorial stones to atrocities committed elsewhere in Europe. Now in there were three uniformed people who I asked who they were, and in the end they politely told me to go away. The Jews were especially welcome in Venice after the Vasco da Gama trip round the Horn. They were welcome because of their business acumen, although the Jews were only welcome in Venice because of their uses, and the church insisted that they wear distinctive badges. There was a Venetian law which prevented people inciting others against the Jews. So we've made our way through the Ghetto, and eventually, shortly, we shall come out on the Cannaregio Canal at one of the other gates which were locked at night time.